Hey!
You should join us tonight. And don't tell me you have nothing to wear, because you could wear this.
Because we're all things Wicked, we'll meet the designer of the incredible costumes, Paul Tazewell. Let's send it out to Beth Stevens.
Legendary costume designer Paul Tazewell has entered the world of Oz with the new movie Wicked. I sat down with him to talk about creating looks for Grande, Alphaba, and more. Wicked is a Broadway blockbuster. Grande and Alphaba are iconic characters, and you knew that going into this. So how did you approach taking on designing Wicked the movie?
As John was inviting me to design this movie of Wicked, he also said that we want to give it its own original look and feel and have it feel fresh and just have a different point of view.
How did you manage balancing what we know, what's familiar, with reimagining and coming up with your own stamp?
I think that what was important for me most was to capture the spirit that's been established by the original Wicked, and then also echo some of the icons that are from the Wizard of Oz film. Essentially, that is Gregory Maguire's approach to the novel and how he turns the idea of the Wizard of Oz on its head in order to give us a backstory for who Alphaba and Grande are and how we see good versus evil and who the Wicked Witch of the West actually is. Then, just really take that on and feel it so that I can then project what I would want to see.
What are some specifics in the silhouettes or the palettes or the textures that you chose that allowed you to express your vision?
With Grande, I started with the pink bubble, the original arrival of Grande in the 1939 film. And she arrives in this beautiful pink fairy princess dress, all tulle covered in sparkles. So that as an image, I then carried into the first look that we see for Grande, which is a similar arrival. She arrives in her bubble machine of sorts, and then when she pops the bubble, we see her in this glorious gown that is indeed pink and sparkly as well. I mean, it's as much as I could capturing that same tone of pink. But then where I took that was creating that silhouette with spiraled shapes and imagery that is reflective of the bubble. And I think that it has a slightly more, it's a more modern feel as far as that silhouette, or approaching that silhouette, as you compare the two. And then using that pink as a springboard throughout her wardrobe. So you see elements of pink in all of her different looks. For Alphaba, I went to nature. I mean, I was looking at a lot of nature just because it's timeless, and the designs that are created through nature are timeless. And I wanted to have this world of Oz to reflect that as well. Albeit, the Alphaba silhouette is based on the movie, The Wicked Witch of the West, but then how I deal with her, the texture of her clothing.
Sure, well, you have a more limited palette with the black.
That. Yeah, exactly. And, I was using mushrooms and bark and leaves and and other kinds of fungus that are very interesting in and themselves, and then figuring out how we could manifest that in fabric, and then that became reflective of who Alphaba is, and that's in contrast to her ability to fly as well. But it did give me a basis for using black, having that run throughout, and having it still resonate in an interesting way. I mean, you can see all the textures as well.
I had the privilege of interviewing Susan Hilferty for the 20th anniversary of Wicked on Broadway, and she said that Alphaba is of the earth and Grande is of the air. And it sounds like you also went into a similar vein. Did you have any conversations with her?
When I first got the job, Susan and I mean, and because we're friends, I mean, we're friends and colleagues, and it was, my hope to, just in honor of what she has set up as the initial spirit of Wicked. There are odes to some of the the qualities that she designed the original Wicked with. I think they're with Popular, where she put Glinda in a pleated ruffled pink dress. I mean, it's like her party dress. It happens at a different point than where we have it in our film. For me, we were going to do Popular when they're in their night clothes, but I've created a peignoir that it's a dotted net peignoir that she wears over a little silk teddy. But again, because of the color, because of the quality of the ruffling, it hopefully audience members will, those that are in the know will see the connection, but they also will be able to experience that number in a new way.
In what ways, if any, did you collaborate with the stars Cynthia Revo and Ariana Grande?
Both Cynthia and Ariana are huge fashion icons themselves. I mean, they love clothing. Every time that we would have a fitting, they would walk in with some other piece that was fabulous. They know how to wear clothes very well, and they know what looks good on them. The fact that they love wearing clothes, it's like right up my alley, and I want to please them and be able to help to evoke what this new vision of their characters is going to be. It's always imperative for me that the actors feel good and appropriately dressed for whatever scene that they're in order for them to do their work, to feel like the character. I need to do my work and have it be accurate to what we're doing. Yeah, I mean, it was just it was always gratifying.
Okay, now I have to ask you like hard-hitting journalism.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Does pink go good with green?
Absolutely, always. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the end of our. I mean, that's the point of our story, is that it's imperative to have pink and green together, always.